Introduction. How to get better every single day. Improving yourself every single day is not just a goal, but a lifelong commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. It's easy to think that success comes from big, life-altering decisions, but in reality, the most profound transformations occur through small, consistent actions that compound over time. Imagine a person trying to build a skyscraper. It doesn't happen overnight, but rather brick by brick, with careful planning, patience, and effort. The same principle applies to personal growth. By taking small, manageable steps daily, you gradually shape a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself. This book delves into the core principles of self-improvement, highlighting the importance of cultivating a growth mindset, developing productive habits, and embracing the power of discipline. Growth is not about perfection or rapid leaps forward, but about showing up every single day, making conscious efforts to improve, and understanding that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Many people get discouraged because they expect instant results, but true success is built on patience and persistence. Think about learning a new skill, whether it's playing an instrument, mastering a language, or excelling in a career. It doesn't happen overnight, but through repeated practice, failure, adjustment, and persistence. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often consistency, the ability to keep moving forward even when progress feels slow or invisible. This book emphasizes the idea that small actions, repeated daily, create exponential results over time. Even if you only improve by 1% each day, the cumulative effect over months and years will be remarkable. This concept, often called the compound effect, is the reason why small, consistent habits lead to extraordinary outcomes. Whether it's reading a few pages of a book each day, exercising for just 10 minutes, or practicing mindfulness, these actions may seem insignificant at first, but over time, they build a foundation for long-term growth and success. Furthermore, self-improvement is not just about achieving goals, but about adopting a mindset that embraces challenges, learns from failures, and continuously seeks growth. Many people fear failure, seeing it as a sign of weakness, but failure is one of the greatest teachers in life. Every mistake provides a lesson, and every setback is an opportunity to adapt, refine, and improve. If you look at the most successful individuals, whether entrepreneurs, athletes, or artists, they all have one thing in common: they failed repeatedly, but never stopped learning. The key to daily improvement lies in resilience, their ability to bounce back, reframe failures as learning opportunities, and keep moving forward. Additionally, the role of discipline cannot be overstated. Motivation is fleeting, it comes and goes, depending on external factors. But discipline is what keeps you on track even when motivation fades. The secret to getting better every day is not just about feeling inspired. It's about creating routines and systems that remove friction and make progress inevitable. This book explores the science of habit formation, demonstrating how to build powerful, lasting habits that support your goals. By designing your environment, setting up cues, and creating accountability, you make self-improvement automatic and effortless. Imagine the difference between someone who waits for motivation to strike versus someone who has built structured habits. The latter will always progress further because they rely on systems, not willpower. Another crucial element of getting better every single day: reflection. Many people go through life without pausing to assess their growth, which leads to stagnation. By taking time to reflect, whether through journaling, meditation, or simply evaluating your progress, you gain clarity on what's working, what needs improvement, and how to adjust your approach. Reflection allows you to celebrate small wins, recognize patterns, and stay aligned with your long-term vision. This book also highlights the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people. Growth is much easier when you are in an environment that supports and encourages it. The people you interact with daily influence your thoughts, behaviors, and mindset, which is why it's essential to seek out like-minded, growth-oriented individuals. Whether it's joining a mastermind group, learning from mentors, or engaging in communities that prioritize self-improvement, your surroundings will either propel you forward or hold you back. Moreover, the journey of daily improvement requires embracing discomfort. Many people resist change because it feels uncomfortable, but discomfort is a sign of growth. Think about a workout. If you only lift weights that feel easy, your muscles won't grow. Similarly, if you only do things that feel comfortable in life, you won't evolve. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone, which is why this book encourages taking on challenges, seeking new experiences, and continuously pushing your limits. Another key lesson is the power of intentionality. Improvement doesn't happen by accident. It requires deliberate effort and conscious decision-making. If you don't set clear goals and define what success looks like for you, it's easy to drift aimlessly. This book provides practical strategies for setting meaningful, achievable goals, breaking them down into daily actions, and measuring progress effectively. By creating a roadmap for self-improvement, you ensure that every day brings you one step closer to your ideal future. Lastly, this book teaches the importance of sustainability in personal growth. Many people start strong but burn out because they approach self-improvement as a sprint rather than a marathon. True growth is about balance, patience, and long-term commitment. It's not about being perfect every day, but about being consistent enough that your actions accumulate over time. Even on bad days, even when life gets tough, small efforts still count. The goal is not to change everything at once, but to make continuous, manageable improvements that become a natural part of your lifestyle. In essence, self-improvement is a journey, not a destination. There is no final point where you've made it, because growth is a lifelong process. By following the principles in this book, embracing a growth mindset, focusing on small daily improvements, building powerful habits, reflecting on progress, surrounding yourself with the right influences, and sustaining long-term commitment, you will unlock your true potential and create a life of continuous progress. The path to becoming better every single day is not complicated. It simply requires intentionality, discipline, and a willingness to keep going, no matter what. Chapter 1. Mindset Matters. Achieving meaningful self-improvement starts with the right mindset, as your thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes shape the way you approach challenges, setbacks, and personal growth. Mindset matters because it determines whether you see obstacles as barriers or as opportunities for learning and progress. At the core of this concept are two fundamental types of mindsets identified by psychologist Carol Dweck: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that their intelligence, talents, and abilities are static traits. They think they were either born with certain skills or not, and as a result, they tend to avoid challenges, fear failure, and resist stepping outside their comfort zone. When they encounter difficulty, they often assume they are simply not good enough and give up easily, reinforcing a cycle of stagnation. On the other hand, individuals with a growth mindset understand that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, practice, and persistence. They see failures not as evidence of incompetence, but as valuable learning experiences that help them improve over time. This fundamental difference in perception affects every aspect of life, from education to career advancement, relationships, and even personal happiness. When you cultivate a growth mindset, you begin to embrace challenges rather than shy away from them. Instead of seeing difficult tasks as proof of your inadequacy, you recognize them as chances to stretch your abilities and develop resilience. This shift in perspective encourages you to seek out learning opportunities, whether through formal education, skill development, or personal experiences, knowing that every effort contributes to your overall growth. Moreover, mindset influences how you interpret criticism and feedback. A person with a fixed mindset tends to take criticism personally, viewing it as an attack on their abilities, while someone with a growth mindset sees feedback as constructive guidance that can help them improve. This difference in attitude can significantly impact progress in any field, whether you are an athlete refining your technique, a student working on academics, or an entrepreneur building a business. Instead of fearing feedback, those with a growth mindset actively seek it out, using it as a tool for self-improvement rather than a source of discouragement. The power of mindset is evident in various real-world examples. Consider elite athletes who train for years to master their craft. What separates the best from the rest is not just talent, but a relentless commitment to learning, improving, and overcoming failures. Michael Jordan, often considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school team, but used that setback as motivation to train harder rather than letting it define him. Similarly, Thomas Edison, who failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb, famously stated that he didn't fail, but rather found 1,000 ways that didn't work. These stories illustrate how embracing challenges and persisting through difficulties can lead to greatness, reinforcing the idea that success is not about innate ability, but about dedication and mindset. One of the most critical aspects of fostering a growth mindset is changing self-talk, the internal dialogue that shapes how you perceive yourself and your capabilities. People with a fixed mindset often say things like, "I'm just not good at this," or "I'll never be able to do that," which reinforces limiting beliefs. In contrast, those with a growth mindset replace such statements with "I can learn this with practice," or "I haven't mastered it yet, but I'm improving," which creates a powerful psychological shift that encourages progress. This concept, often referred to as the power of yet, suggests that just because you haven't achieved something now doesn't mean you never will. It simply means you are in the process of learning and growing. Another important factor in developing a mindset that fosters continuous improvement is resilience in the face of failure. Many people fear failure because they associate it with shame, embarrassment, or inadequacy. However, failure is not the opposite of success, it is a stepping stone to it. Every setback provides valuable insights that can help refine your approach and strengthen your skills. Resilient individuals don't see failure as a dead end, but as an essential part of the journey, recognizing that growth requires trial, error, and adaptation. This ability to bounce back from failures and setbacks is known as grit, a trait that has been widely studied in psychology as a predictor of long-term success. People with grit are able to stay committed to their goals, despite difficulties, maintaining motivation and perseverance even when progress is slow or difficult. Developing a growth mindset also requires surrounding yourself with the right influences. The people you spend time with play a crucial role in shaping your beliefs and attitudes. If you are constantly around individuals who reinforce negative thinking, fear failure, or discourage ambition, it can be challenging to maintain a mindset that supports growth. On the other hand, being in an environment that encourages learning, resilience, and continuous self-improvement can amplify your ability to develop and maintain a growth-oriented outlook. This is why successful people often emphasize the importance of mentorship, networking, and being part of communities that challenge and inspire them. Education and learning also deeply connected to mindset. In traditional schooling, students who believe that intelligence is fixed often avoid difficult subjects because they fear struggling and failing. However, those with a growth mindset embrace challenges as opportunities to learn, which ultimately makes them more successful in academics and beyond. Research has shown that students who are taught to adopt a growth mindset perform better academically, as they are more likely to persist in challenging subjects, seek help when needed, and approach learning with enthusiasm rather than fear. Similarly, professionals who believe in continuous learning are more adaptable in the workplace, more likely to develop new skills, and more open to feedback, making them more valuable employees and leaders. In addition to academic and professional success, mindset plays a significant role in mental health and overall well-being. People with a fixed mindset tend to experience higher levels of stress and anxiety, as they often feel trapped by their perceived limitations and fear of failure. In contrast, those with a growth mindset exhibit greater emotional resilience, as they see setbacks as temporary challenges rather than defining failures. This allows them to navigate difficulties with a sense of optimism and control, leading to greater overall life satisfaction. The concept of neuroplasticity, or the brain's ability to change and adapt over time, further reinforces the power of a growth mindset. Studies in neuroscience have shown that the brain is capable of forming new neural connections and strengthening existing ones, based on learning and experience. This means that intelligence, skills, and abilities are not fixed. They can be developed and expanded with consistent effort. Understanding this scientific basis for growth encourages people to persist through challenges, knowing that their efforts are literally reshaping their brain and enhancing their capabilities. Moreover, adopting a growth mindset can lead to greater creativity and innovation. When people believe that their abilities can improve, they are more likely to experiment, take risks, and think outside the box. This is particularly important in fields that require problem-solving, adaptability, and forward-thinking, such as entrepreneurship, technology, and the arts. By removing the fear of failure and replacing it with a curiosity-driven approach, individuals can unlock their creative potential and develop groundbreaking ideas. In relationships, mindset also plays a pivotal role. People with a fixed mindset often struggle with interpersonal challenges because they see difficulties as signs of incompatibility rather than opportunities for growth. However, those with a growth mindset understand that strong relationships require effort, communication, and mutual development. They are more likely to resolve conflicts constructively, seek solutions rather than assign blame, and view challenges as opportunities to strengthen their bonds. This applies to friendships, romantic relationships, and even professional collaborations. Ultimately, developing a growth mindset is about making a conscious choice to see life as a continuous journey of learning and development. It requires shifting away from self-limiting beliefs, embracing discomfort, and recognizing that effort and persistence are the keys to mastery. Whether you want to excel in your career, develop a new skill, improve your relationships, or simply become a better version of yourself, the foundation for success begins in your mind. The difference between those who reach their full potential and those who remain stagnant is not talent or luck. It is the willingness to embrace growth, learn from setbacks, and continually push forward, one step at a time. Chapter 2. The Power of Small Changes. The power of small changes lies in their ability to create massive transformations over time, proving that progress is not about making drastic leaps, but about consistently taking small, intentional steps in the right direction. Many people believe that success requires radical overhauls, quitting bad habits overnight, transforming their lifestyle in a single day, or making instant, life-altering decisions. But in reality, sustainable change is built on tiny, incremental improvements that compound over time. This idea, often referred to as the aggregation of marginal gains, suggests that if you improve by just 1% each day, those small improvements accumulate into significant growth over weeks, months, and years. Just as a plane that adjusts its course by a mere few degrees will end up in a completely different destination over a long flight, the small decisions we make daily, what we eat, how we spend our time, the habits we cultivate ultimately shape the trajectory of our lives. This principle applies to every area of self-improvement, from fitness and health to productivity, learning, relationships, and personal development. One of the most common mistakes people make is underestimating the impact of small, consistent actions, dismissing them as insignificant. They assume that if a single workout doesn't produce visible results, or if reading for 10 minutes doesn't make them instantly smarter, those efforts are meaningless. But this mindset ignores the fundamental nature of compounding progress. Just like saving money in a bank account with compound interest, where even small deposits grow exponentially over time, personal growth works the same way. Tiny, seemingly unimportant actions add up to life-changing outcomes. The key is to shift focus from immediate results to long-term impact. Instead of expecting overnight success, embracing the power of small changes means committing to steady, incremental progress. The most successful individuals, whether athletes, entrepreneurs, or artists, didn't achieve greatness overnight. They improved by 1% every day, fine-tuning their habits, refining their skills, and making small but meaningful adjustments to their routines. Take the example of professional athletes. Olympic swimmers don't become world-class competitors by making sudden, drastic changes to their training. Rather, they perfect their strokes, optimize their breathing, and refine their techniques through hundreds of micro-adjustments over time. This concept was famously demonstrated by Dave Brailsford, coach of the British cycling team, who led his team to multiple Olympic gold medals by focusing on marginal gains. Small, almost imperceptible improvements in areas like bike aerodynamics, nutrition, sleep quality, and even washing hands properly to avoid illness. These seemingly minor changes, when compounded over time, led to extraordinary success, proving that the secret to continuous growth is mastering the small details. This philosophy also applies to habit formation, as explained in books like Atomic Habits by James Clear, which emphasizes how small behavioral changes create lasting, positive transformations. The challenge with small changes is that their effects are often invisible at first. When you start eating healthier, exercising, or reading regularly, you may not see immediate results, leading many people to quit prematurely. This is known as the plateau of latent potential, a phase where effort seems unrewarded, causing frustration and discouragement. However, if you persist, there comes a tipping point where all the small efforts suddenly compound into visible progress. Imagine an ice cube sitting in a cold room. As the temperature gradually rises from 26 to 27 to 28 degrees, nothing seems to happen. But when it reaches 32 degrees, the ice suddenly melts. This moment of transformation is the result of small, invisible temperature changes accumulating over time. And the same principle applies to personal development. The biggest obstacle to embracing small changes is instant gratification bias, which is the tendency to prioritize immediate rewards over long-term benefits. Society conditions us to expect quick results and instant success, but the reality is that meaningful progress requires patience, consistency, and delayed gratification. This is why so many people struggle to maintain good habits. They go to the gym for a week, don't see visible muscle growth, and give up, failing to recognize that the benefits of exercise are not immediate, but cumulative over time. Understanding the compounding effect of small changes helps shift focus from short-term outcomes to long-term identity transformation. Instead of setting vague goals, like I want to lose weight or I want to be more productive, the key is to focus on identity-based habits, becoming the type of person who naturally does those things. Rather than trying to get in shape, start by identifying as a person who never misses a workout. Instead of trying to write a book, become the kind of person who writes just one sentence every day. Over time, these small identity-based habits reshape behavior, making progress effortless and automatic. Another powerful aspect of small changes is how they create habit stacking, a technique where new habits are anchored onto existing ones, making them easier to sustain. For example, if you want to build a habit of daily reading, link it to something you already do, like drinking coffee in the morning. Every time you make coffee, read one page. This strategy removes friction from habit formation, making good behaviors more natural and consistent. The power of small changes is also evident in the 2-minute rule, which suggests that any new habit should take no more than 2 minutes to start. Rather than overwhelming yourself with an ambitious goal, running 5 miles every day, start with putting on running shoes and stepping outside. Once the habit is established, scaling up becomes easier. The key to lasting change, not making massive, unsustainable shifts, but making small improvements that become automatic over time. The principle of environmental design also plays a crucial role in sustaining small changes. Our surroundings shape our behaviors more than we realize, so designing an environment that makes good habits easy and bad habits difficult increases the likelihood of success. For example, if you want to eat healthier, simply keeping junk food out of sight and placing nutritious snacks in accessible places makes it easier to make better choices. If you want to read more, Leaving books in visible locations instead of buried on a shelf nudges behavior in the right direction. These small environmental adjustments may seem trivial, but they have a profound impact on daily habits, reinforcing the idea that tiny optimizations create major long-term results. One of the most compelling examples of the power of small changes comes from the Kaizen philosophy, a Japanese business strategy focused on continuous, incremental improvement. Companies like Toyota have used this approach to dominate industries by making small, ongoing refinements to efficiency and quality, proving that success isn't about giant leaps, but about relentless, minor improvements. This principle is equally applicable to personal growth. By continuously tweaking habits, adjusting routines, and refining daily practices, anyone can achieve extraordinary results over time. Another crucial aspect of small changes is their role in building momentum. Success in any area of life is often about getting started, and once momentum builds, progress becomes easier and more natural. This is why concepts like the Seinfeld strategy, which involves maintaining a daily streak of a habit, such as writing every day, work so well. Once a habit is established, people feel motivated to keep going simply because they don't want to break the chain. This strategy reinforces consistency and makes small changes feel effortless over time. Ultimately, the power of small changes lies in their ability to rewire behaviors, shift identities, and create unstoppable momentum. Whether applied to health, productivity, personal development, or relationships, the key to lasting success is focusing on continuous improvement rather than instant transformation. By making small but meaningful adjustments, embracing patience, and committing to long-term growth, anyone can achieve extraordinary success, one tiny step at a time. Chapter 3. Consistency over intensity. Consistency over intensity is the key to long-term success, because sustainable progress comes from repeated, steady effort rather than short-lived bursts of extreme action. Many people believe that working harder in short bursts will bring them success faster, but the truth is that it is not the occasional bursts of extreme effort, but the daily commitment to small, repeated actions that leads to mastery, growth, and real transformation. Whether in fitness, learning, business, or personal development, those who prioritize consistency over intensity always outperform those who rely on short bursts of motivation, followed by long periods of inactivity. In fitness, for example, working out for an hour every day is far more effective than an intense 5-hour workout once a week, because the body adapts best to regular, moderate effort rather than sporadic strain. The same applies to learning. Studying a little every day leads to deeper understanding than cramming 4 hours before an exam. In business, small daily improvements and disciplined work habits lead to long-term success, while sporadic, high-energy pushes often lead to burnout and inconsistent results. Consistency is the foundation of habit formation, and habits shape our identities. When we show up daily, even for a small effort, we reinforce the belief that we are committed, disciplined, and capable. Intensity often leads to burnout because it is difficult to sustain. People who rely on intensity push themselves too hard and then collapse from exhaustion, losing momentum and eventually quitting altogether. On the other hand, small, manageable actions done consistently create momentum and allow for continuous improvement without overwhelming the mind and body. One of the greatest examples of consistency over intensity is seen in elite athletes, musicians, and successful entrepreneurs who achieve greatness not through occasional extreme efforts, but through disciplined, daily routines that accumulate over time. The compound effect of consistency is what turns small efforts into massive success, while relying on intensity alone often leads to frustration, because results don't appear as quickly as expected. When people choose intensity over consistency, they may see rapid initial progress, but they often lose motivation when the effort becomes too difficult to sustain. This is why most New Year's resolutions fail. Instead of focusing on dramatic, unsustainable actions, The key to success in any area of life is embracing consistency, trusting the process, and allowing small, repeated actions to build extraordinary results over time. The true secret to long-term achievement lies in making steady progress every single day, no matter how small, because the accumulation of consistent effort will always outlast short-lived intensity. Chapter 4: Learning from Failure. Learning from failure is one of the most crucial aspects of growth, because failure is not the end, but a stepping stone to success, a necessary experience that teaches resilience, adaptability, and self-improvement. Many people fear failure, viewing it as something negative, as a sign of weakness or incompetence, but in reality, failure is the foundation upon which the greatest successes are built. Every mistake, every setback, every wrong turn provides an opportunity to learn, adjust, and refine one's approach. Those who succeed in life are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who refuse to let failure define them, using it instead as a tool to sharpen their skills, expand their understanding, and develop a mindset that embraces challenges rather than avoids them. The fear of failure often prevents people from taking action, keeping them stuck in their comfort zones, afraid to take risks or step into the unknown. Yet history has proven time and time again that the most successful individuals are those who dared to fail, who saw each failure as a lesson rather than a defeat. Thomas Edison, for example, failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb, but rather than seeing these failures as wasted efforts, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset exemplifies the true power of learning from failure. Each mistake brings valuable insights. Each setback reveals what doesn't work. And with every attempt, one moves closer to the right solution. Failure is not a reflection of one's abilities. It is a sign of progress, an indication that one is pushing beyond their limits, testing new ideas, and challenging themselves to grow. When people avoid failure, they also avoid learning, growth, and innovation, because true breakthroughs only come to those who are willing to experiment, to take risks, and to embrace the discomfort of making mistakes. The greatest scientists, inventors, entrepreneurs, and artists have all experienced failure on their path to success. Albert Einstein was told he would never amount to anything as a child. Walt Disney was fired from a job because he lacked creativity, and Steve Jobs was once removed from his own company, only to return stronger and more determined than before. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not the absence of failure, but the way they respond to it. Those who see failure as a roadblock often give up too soon, allowing discouragement to stop them from continuing, while those who see failure as feedback use it as motivation to push forward, to refine their skills, to improve, and to ultimately achieve their goals. When a child learns to walk, they fall countless times before they finally master the ability to stand on their own. Yet no one sees these falls as failures. They are simply part of the learning process, necessary steps toward success. The same principle applies to every area of life. Failure is not a sign of incompetence, but a natural and essential part of progress. The most important thing is not avoiding failure, but learning from it, reflecting on what went wrong, analyzing mistakes, and making the necessary adjustments to move forward. Failure teaches resilience, the ability to recover from setbacks, and to keep going even when things seem difficult or discouraging. Without failure, there is no growth. Without mistakes, there is no learning. People who try to avoid failure at all costs often end up stuck in mediocrity because they never take the risks necessary to achieve greatness. Instead of fearing failure, one should embrace it, welcome it as an opportunity for self-improvement, and understand that every failure carries within it the seeds of future success. When one shifts their perspective on failure, they develop a growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, practice, and learning from mistakes. This mindset is what separates those who continuously improve from those who remain stagnant. Failure builds character, strengthens determination, and helps individuals develop a deeper understanding of themselves and their capabilities. It forces people to confront their weaknesses, to acknowledge their limitations, and to find ways to overcome them. Many of the world's greatest achievements would not have been possible without failure, because innovation and progress are built on trial and error. Every great discovery, every technological advancement, every artistic masterpiece has been shaped by failure, by countless attempts that didn't work before the right one was found. Failure is not a destination. It is a journey, an ongoing process of learning, growing, and improving. Those who embrace failure as a teacher, rather than an enemy, develop an unshakable confidence in their ability to adapt and succeed. No matter how many setbacks they encounter, the road to success is paved with failures, and those who persevere through them are the ones who ultimately achieve greatness. Chapter 5: Self-Discipline and Focus. Self-discipline and focus are two of the most powerful traits that lead to personal success and fulfillment. They are the foundational elements that allow individuals to stay on track and achieve their long-term goals, regardless of how difficult the journey may seem. Self-discipline refers to the ability to control one's emotions, behaviors, and actions in the face of temptations and distractions. It is the ability to delay gratification, resist impulses, and stay committed to doing what needs to be done, even when it's not easy or enjoyable. This trait is often misunderstood as merely being about willpower or a temporary burst of motivation. But in reality, self-discipline is about creating habits and routines that make sticking to one's goals easier. It involves consistency and is not dependent on external motivation, which can fluctuate, but rather on an internal commitment to doing what is necessary to move forward. In fact, people who exhibit high levels of self-discipline often achieve success not because they are naturally more talented, but because they are better at doing the right things, consistently, over time. Whether it's waking up early, studying every day, exercising regularly, or managing time effectively, self-discipline is the ability to focus on long-term rewards rather than short-term pleasures. One important aspect of self-discipline is the ability to set clear, actionable goals and stick to them, even when obstacles arise. This consistency is key to progress, as success is often the result of compounding small, disciplined actions over time, rather than one big breakthrough. Developing self-discipline is not a quick process. It requires practice, patience, and the development of strategies to overcome procrastination, build good habits, and eliminate distractions. One of the most effective ways to strengthen self-discipline is by creating a structure or routine in one's life. When daily habits are automated, they require less mental effort to maintain, and this leads to a higher level of consistency. For example, setting a specific time each day to work on a goal can make it easier to stay focused and consistent, because there's no ambiguity about when the work will get done. The more one practices self-discipline, the more ingrained it becomes, creating a feedback loop where discipline leads to greater achievements, which in turn motivates the individual to continue pushing themselves. Focus, on the other hand, is the ability to direct one's attention and energy on a single task or goal without being distracted by other thoughts, ideas, or external influences. In a world full of distractions, from social media to emails to everyday life challenges, focus has become more critical than ever. Focus allows individuals to immerse themselves fully in the task at hand, creating a state of flow that enhances productivity and performance. When one is truly focused, they are able to eliminate mental clutter, narrow their attention, and give all their energy to a specific activity, making them more efficient and effective. Focus is essential because without it, even the most disciplined individuals can become easily sidetracked and their efforts diluted across too many things. The ability to maintain focus requires constant training and the cultivation of mental habits that protect against distractions. Techniques like the Pomodoro method, where one works in short bursts with regular breaks, or the practice of mindfulness, can help improve focus by training the brain to stay present and engaged in the moment. Additionally, focus requires setting clear priorities, as trying to focus on too many things at once can lead to burnout and the lack of meaningful progress. To focus, individuals must first be clear about what is important and what aligns with their long-term objectives. The key to combining self-discipline and focus is the ability to align them with one's deepest values and long-term aspirations. When discipline and focus are aligned with intrinsic motivation, they are far more effective and sustainable. For example, an athlete who is disciplined in their training because they are passionate about their sport is likely to maintain their focus and commitment over time. Similarly, a student who is self-disciplined about their studies because they understand how it aligns with their long-term career goals will maintain focus even when faced with difficult or tedious tasks. In this way, self-discipline and focus work together to create an unstoppable force, with one reinforcing the other. Without discipline, it is easy to lose focus due to distractions or laziness, and without focus, even the most disciplined individuals can become overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks and lose sight of what matters most. The two traits complement each other in a dynamic way, creating a cycle of productivity and achievement. Ultimately, developing self-discipline and focus is about learning to prioritize what truly matters, saying no to distractions, and committing to a steady path of progress. While this process requires effort and perseverance, the rewards are immense: greater personal growth, higher levels of productivity, and a deeper sense of satisfaction from achieving long-term goals. Through consistent practice, anyone can improve their self-discipline and focus, leading to a life that is more aligned with their values and aspirations. Both are essential for anyone who wants to reach their full potential, achieve their dreams, and create lasting success in all areas of their life. Chapter 6: The Role of Reflection. Reflection is a powerful tool for growth, allowing us to step back and review our actions, thoughts, and decisions in order to learn and improve. It is through reflection that we are able to look at our experiences with a critical and thoughtful perspective, helping us understand why certain things worked out and others didn't. By regularly reflecting on both our successes and setbacks, we gain clarity on our personal journey, helping us to identify patterns that can either propel us forward or hold us back. This introspection also allows us to evaluate our habits, uncover any negative behaviors, and recognize areas where we need to improve, providing a solid foundation for making better decisions in the future. Without reflection, we often continue repeating the same mistakes, unaware of the lessons that our past holds. Reflection helps us move beyond surface-level understanding and encourages a deeper awareness of the thoughts and actions that shape our lives. It brings to light the motivations behind our choices, allowing us to understand not only what we did, but why we did it, and whether that aligns with our true values and goals. By taking the time to reflect, we gain perspective on our progress, which helps in setting realistic and achievable future goals. It also helps us recognize the growth we've already achieved, even if it seems small, which can provide motivation during challenging times. Reflection also serves as a valuable opportunity for problem solving, as it encourages us to think critically about what went wrong, what we could have done differently, and what strategies might work better next time. It's easy to rush through life without truly understanding the meaning behind our actions, but reflection forces us to slow down, think deeply, and learn from the past. This deeper understanding of ourselves, our habits, and our motivations enables us to make more informed choices, ultimately leading to better outcomes. In addition to learning from our mistakes, reflection also helps us appreciate our successes, giving us the chance to celebrate our wins and acknowledge the progress we've made. Without reflection, we might overlook the lessons embedded in our achievements or fail to recognize the importance of the steps we've taken to get there. Reflection fosters self-awareness, allowing us to grow into individuals who are more intentional in our actions and decisions. It helps us become more aligned with our purpose, as it encourages us to ask difficult questions about whether we're truly pursuing the things that matter most to us. The process of reflection allows us to examine our goals with fresh eyes, helping us to refine them and ensure that they are in line with our deepest values. This constant feedback loop, where we reflect and then take action based on those insights, leads to continuous improvement and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Reflection also teaches us patience, as it encourages us to step away from the rush of daily life and take the time to consider our next steps thoughtfully. It provides the opportunity to cultivate gratitude, allowing us to appreciate the lessons learned from both the good and bad experiences, and to see setbacks as growth opportunities rather than failures. By incorporating reflection into our daily or weekly routine, we can enhance our emotional intelligence and become better equipped to handle challenges. It strengthens our decision-making skills by giving us the clarity to approach problems with a more balanced perspective, and it helps us stay grounded, focused, and committed to our long-term goals. One of the key aspects of reflection is its ability to provide insight into our emotional state, helping us understand our reactions and responses to situations. By reflecting on our emotions, we can identify any patterns or triggers that may be influencing our behavior, enabling us to better manage our feelings and improve our emotional regulation. This leads to healthier relationships, increased resilience, and more thoughtful responses in difficult situations. Reflection also has a profound impact on self-compassion, as it encourages us to be kind to ourselves, recognizing that growth is a journey and mistakes are an inevitable part of the process. Rather than criticizing ourselves for errors, reflection teaches us to treat ourselves with understanding and to use challenges as opportunities for growth. In this way, reflection becomes a powerful tool, not only for personal development, but also for fostering a sense of well-being and self-acceptance. It allows us to see ourselves more clearly, to learn from our past, and to move forward with greater purpose and intention. Reflection also enhances creativity, as it provides a space for new ideas to emerge. When we reflect on experiences, we often find new perspectives or connections that we hadn't noticed before. This is especially important in problem solving or in pursuing goals that require innovative thinking. Taking the time to reflect on challenges or obstacles can help unlock creative solutions that might not have been apparent in the midst of a busy, action-oriented mindset. Furthermore, reflection enhances our ability to build resilience. When we reflect on the difficult times we've faced and how we overcame them, we recognize our own strength and ability to persevere. This self-awareness boosts confidence and prepares us for future challenges, as we are reminded that we have the inner resources to cope and thrive even in difficult circumstances. Reflection allows us to grow from every situation, whether it's positive or negative, turning every experience into an opportunity for learning and self-improvement. It also deepens our connection to our purpose and vision for the future, helping us stay motivated and focused on the bigger picture, even when day-to-day distractions threaten to pull us off course. Reflection is not just about looking back, it's about looking forward with clarity, understanding, and intention, using the lessons learned to shape a better, more fulfilling future. By reflecting regularly on our actions, thoughts, and experiences, we can make more mindful decisions, develop stronger habits, and cultivate a deeper sense of personal fulfillment. Chapter 7. Sustaining long-term growth. Sustaining long-term growth is a complex but achievable process that requires not only a commitment to ongoing improvement, but also the ability to remain adaptable, patient, and disciplined through the ups and downs of life. It begins with a clear understanding of what one wants to achieve and the perseverance to keep working toward those goals, even when faced with setbacks, challenges, or plateaus. Sustaining growth doesn't happen through sudden bursts of effort, but through small, consistent actions that are aligned with long-term objectives. The key to this is developing habits and systems that support continuous progress, rather than relying solely on willpower or motivation, which can fluctuate. Long-term growth requires a mindset that embraces the journey, understanding that success isn't achieved in one big leap, but through the accumulation of effort and learning over time. It's about setting goals that are not only achievable, but also flexible enough to adapt to changing circumstances. As life evolves, so too should our strategies, as we learn from our experiences, refine our approaches, and apply new insights. Growth is sustained by the ability to embrace failure as part of the process, using it as a tool to reassess, adapt, and push forward with renewed determination. The process of long-term growth is deeply intertwined with resilience, as setbacks and obstacles are inevitable, but how we respond to them determines the trajectory of our development. When setbacks occur, it's crucial to stay committed to the bigger vision and not be discouraged by temporary failures. Regular reflection helps in recognizing what is working and what is not, offering opportunities to course correct and keep moving forward without losing sight of the larger goal. Another important element in sustaining growth is maintaining motivation over the long term, which can often be challenging when immediate results are not visible. This requires the cultivation of intrinsic motivation doing things because they align with our deeper values and passions, rather than simply chasing external rewards or recognition. This inner drive helps maintain focus during difficult times and fosters a sense of fulfillment that fuels continued progress. At the same time, balancing ambition with self-care and rest is vital. Burnout can be a major obstacle to long-term growth, so it's important to know when to push forward and when to take a step back to recharge. Creating a balance between effort and rest allows us to sustain high levels of productivity and creativity while avoiding exhaustion. Building a strong support system is another crucial factor for sustaining growth. Surrounding oneself with like-minded individuals, mentors, or a community that shares similar values and goals can provide encouragement, accountability, and guidance along the way. The process of long-term growth requires trust in the process, recognizing that it takes time to develop the skills, knowledge, and experience needed for success. While immediate results may not always be visible, the compounding effect of consistent effort over time eventually leads to breakthroughs. This requires patience and a commitment to the journey, rather than focusing solely on the destination. It also requires the courage to take risks and step out of one's comfort zone, knowing that growth often comes from challenging oneself and pushing beyond perceived limits. Long-term growth involves continual self-assessment and the ability to refine one's goals and strategies as new information, experiences, and insights are gained. It's about maintaining a growth mindset, believing that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work, so that challenges are seen as opportunities rather than roadblocks. Each step, no matter how small, contributes to the larger picture, and when compounded, these efforts result in significant personal growth and achievement. The ability to sustain growth over time is about focusing on progress, not perfection, and recognizing that every effort, no matter how small, is an important part of the journey. It involves being proactive in seeking new learning opportunities, adjusting one's course as needed, and continually striving to be better, while remaining grounded and focused on one's larger vision. Sustainable growth comes from a combination of effort, reflection, resilience, and the willingness to adapt and evolve in response to new challenges and experiences. It requires a mindset that values the process just as much as the outcome and recognizes that true success lies in the ongoing pursuit of growth. By consistently putting in the effort, being flexible, and learning from every experience, long-term growth can be not only achieved, but sustained over a lifetime. Conclusion. In conclusion, growth is not a linear path, but rather a series of ongoing efforts and experiences that shape who we become. Achieving lasting success requires us to recognize that improvement is a gradual process, and it's the consistent, daily efforts that ultimately lead to real transformation. Whether through self-discipline, focus, or reflection, the key is maintaining momentum and never losing sight of our long-term vision. Even when immediate results are not visible, growth demands patience and the understanding that challenges and setbacks are inevitable. yet they serve as valuable learning experiences that inform future decisions. The most successful individuals are those who embrace these obstacles as opportunities to adapt and refine their strategies, ensuring that they can continue evolving over time. Self-awareness and the ability to evaluate our progress through reflection provide essential feedback, helping us stay on course and make adjustments when necessary. It's important to remember that long-term growth is not about achieving perfection, but rather about continuously improving, adapting, and becoming more aligned with our values and goals. As we push forward in our personal journey, the ability to maintain discipline, develop positive habits, and stay focused on the bigger picture helps us overcome distractions and stay committed to our path. Furthermore, sustaining growth requires flexibility and a willingness to change course when the circumstances call for it, and the ability to stay resilient in the face of challenges. The process of growth should be seen as a lifelong pursuit, one that doesn't end with a single achievement or milestone, but is instead an ongoing journey of personal development. By committing to this journey, we create lasting change that not only leads to success, but also fosters a sense of fulfillment and purpose. Each step we take, no matter how small, contributes to the broader picture of who we are becoming, and the habits we form along the way shape the person we strive to be. As we continue to grow, it's essential to remember that this process is uniquely personal, and it requires both perseverance and compassion. With time, effort, and a willingness to learn, we can continue to evolve, refine our goals, and become more equipped to handle life's challenges. The pursuit of long-term growth is an ongoing journey of self-discovery, and by embracing the process with patience and commitment, we ensure that the path ahead remains one of continual progress, achievement, and fulfillment.